The discovery. Captain ZYX-Then's 6 eyes widened as he stared at the scanner readings. His claws trembled against the control panel of the Eternal Watcher, the Galactic Council's most advanced research vessel. This cannot be real, he whispered in the universal language. His science officer, a floating jellyfish-like creature named Pelora, drifted closer. Her voice came through the translation device as soft bubbles. Captain, I have checked the data 17 times. The readings are correct. ZYX then looked at the blue and green planet spinning below them. It was called Earth by the creatures who lived there. You are telling me that the dominant species on this world survives by drinking poison? Not just survives, Captain. Pelora's tentacles quivered with excitement. They prefer it. They call it alcohol. Our medical database says it should destroy their liver organs within days. But they have been consuming it for thousands of their years. The captain's head-tail swished in disbelief. This was their first official contact mission with the species called humans. The Galactic Council had been watching Earth from a distance for 50 cycles, waiting for the right moment to make contact. But nothing in their reports had prepared them for this. Meeting Sarah Chen. The landing was scheduled for a place called New York City. ZYX then had chosen it because their data showed it was a major population center. Surely the humans there would be reasonable. The shuttle touched down in a park called Central Park, just as the Earth's sun was rising. Hundreds of humans had gathered to watch, held back by rope barriers and their own security forces. A woman stepped forward. She had dark hair pulled back tight, brown eyes that seemed to analyze everything, and wore a formal black suit. A small rectangle on her chest said, Dr. Sarah Chen, United Nations. Welcome to Earth, she said in clear English. The translation device in ZYX-Then's ear converted it instantly. I am Dr. Chen. I will be your guide and liaison during your visit. ZYX then tried to bow in the human custom. His thick legs made it awkward. Thank you, Dr. Chen. I am Captain ZYX then of the Galactic Council. We are honored to finally meet your species. Sarah smiled, showing her teeth. The captain had read this was a friendly gesture, though it looked aggressive to his predator-trained eyes. We have much to show you, she said. But first, would you like breakfast? The breakfast incident. The human government had prepared a meal in a large building they called the United Nations headquarters. ZYX then, Pelora, and 3 other crew members sat at a long table across from Sarah and her team. ZYX then stared at his plate in horror. This is, cooked? He asked carefully. Sarah nodded, cutting into something she called bacon. Yes, we cook most of our food. It makes it safer and tastier. You expose your nutrients to open flame. Well, not open flame for everything. Sometimes we boil, fry, bake, or grill. She popped a piece of bacon into her mouth and chewed happily. Pelora's translator crackled with alarm. Captain, our analysis shows that cooking process destroys many beneficial bacteria and alters the molecular structure of the proteins. How do they extract enough nutrition? Before ZYX then could respond, a human male at the end of the table, his name tag read General Martinez, spoke up. We also eat some things raw. Sushi, salads, certain fruits. Ah. ZYX then felt relieved. So you do consume food in its natural, safe state. Sure, Martinez said, stabbing his fork into a salad. Though honestly, nothing beats a good steak. Rare, with the center still red in. Stop. Pelora's voice went high-pitched, and her entire body flashed bright red. You are describing partially cooked animal flesh. The center still contains active blood proteins. You are eating something that is neither fully raw nor fully cooked. Sarah raised her eyebrows. Is that a problem? ZYX-Then's head-tail drooped. Dr. Chen, in all of Galactic Council history, we have encountered 847 intelligent species. Not one, not a single one, has ever consumed food in such a dangerous middle state. Raw or fully processed, yes. But this. He gestured at the steak. This is biological chaos. The general shrugged and cut another piece. Tastes good though. The challenge. As the meal continued, ZYX then noticed Sarah watching him carefully. She had barely touched her own food, instead observing the alien's reactions. Finally, she set down her fork. Captain, I need to be honest with you. Humans are different. Very different from what you might expect. We are beginning to understand that, ZYX then said quietly. Sarah leaned forward. Our bodies are different. Our culture is different. The things we can survive, they might shock you. But we want to join the Galactic Council. We want to be part of your community. And we want you to join, ZYX then replied. But the Council requires all members to pass safety evaluations. We need to ensure you can survive in space, interact with other species, handle the rigors of galactic trade and travel. I understand. Sarah's eyes were steady. What do we need to do? Pelora drifted forward. You must allow us to study you. Your biology, your capabilities, your limits. We need to know what humans can and cannot do. Sarah nodded slowly. Then she smiled that teeth-showing smile again. Captain, I think you're going to be very surprised. End of Part 1. The Human Tests. The Research Facility. 3 days after the breakfast incident, Dr. Sarah Chen led Captain ZYX then and his team into a research facility in Geneva, Switzerland. The building was made of glass and steel, filled with advanced human technology that looked primitive compared to galactic standards, but it worked. This is our International Bio-Research Center, Sarah explained as they walked through white corridors. We've prepared a series of demonstrations to help you understand human capabilities. ZYX then's head-tail twitched nervously. Dr. Chen, I must be honest. After the breakfast incident, my crew has been studying your species' medical data. What we found is deeply concerning. Concerning how? Sarah asked, though her slight smile suggested she already knew. Pelora floated forward, her tentacles waving anxiously. Dr. Chen, your species' survival mechanisms make no logical sense. You heal from injuries that would kill most species. You consume toxins recreationally. Your immune systems attack your own bodies and then somehow recover. It's biological madness. Sarah stopped at a large door marked, Testing Lab 1. She placed her hand on a scanner, and the door hissed open. Let me show you something, Captain. I promise it will answer many of your questions. Test 1, the runner. Inside the lab, a young man was warming up on a strange machine. He wore short pants and a sleeveless shirt, his brown skin glistening with something Sarah called sweat. This is Marcus Williams, Sarah said. He's going to run for us today. ZYX then looked at the machine, a flat belt that moved beneath Marcus's feet. Run. For what purpose? Is he escaping danger? No danger, Marcus said with a grin, pressing buttons on the machine. Just exercise. I'm training for a marathon, that's a race where humans run 42 kilometers. 42 kilometers. Pelora's translator sputtered. Continuously. Yep. Marcus started jogging as the belt began to move. My personal best is 3 hours and 15 minutes. ZYX then pulled out his scanner, checking Marcus's vital signs. The numbers made no sense. His body temperature is rising. His heart rate is increasing to dangerous levels. Why doesn't he stop? Watch, Sarah said quietly. For the next hour, Marcus ran. His pace never slowed. Sweat poured down his face and body. His breathing was heavy but steady. The alien crew watched in stunned silence as their scanners recorded everything. Impossible, Pelora whispered. His muscles should have depleted all energy stores after 20 minutes. His body temperature should have caused system shutdown. How is he still moving? Marcus finally slowed the machine to a stop. He wasn't even breathing that hard anymore. He grabbed a bottle of water, another poison, ZYX had learned, as it contained dissolved minerals that would be toxic to most species, and drank deeply. Humans are endurance hunters, Sarah explained. Millions of years ago, our ancestors would chase prey animals until the prey collapsed from exhaustion. We can keep moving long after most creatures would die from overheating or energy depletion. But how? ZYX then demanded. Sarah pointed to Marcus's skin. We sweat. It cools our body through evaporation. Most animals can't do this effectively. We can regulate our temperature while running, which means we can run almost forever if we need to. Marcus wiped his face with a towel and waved at the aliens. Want me to go another hour? 3 of ZYX's crew members fainted. Test 2, the Eater. After reviving his crew, ZYX was led to another room. A woman sat at a table covered with bowls of different foods. Her name tag read Dr. Yuki Tanaka, biochemist. Hello, Captain, Yuki said cheerfully. I hear you're concerned about what humans can eat. Deeply concerned, ZYX admitted. Then let me show you my lunch. Yuki picked up the first bowl. This is kimchi, fermented vegetables. It contains millions of living bacteria. She ate a spoonful. ZYX's scanner screamed warnings about bacterial contamination. This, Yuki continued, picking up a second bowl, is blue cheese. It's milk that we deliberately infected with mold, then aged for months. The mold creates the flavor. She ate a piece. 2 more crew members fainted. This is hot sauce made with Carolina Reaper peppers, one of the spiciest foods on Earth. The chemical capsaicin triggers the same pain receptors as actual burning. She poured it generously over rice and ate a large spoonful. Her face turned red, and her eyes watered, but she smiled. Delicious. Pelora was flashing colors rapidly, a sign of extreme stress. She is poisoning herself. Multiple vectors of attack on her digestive system. Someone stop her. But Yuki wasn't done. This is fugu, pufferfish. If prepared incorrectly, it contains tetrodotoxin, which can kill a human in hours. But when prepared right. She ate a slice of the raw fish. It's considered a delicacy in Japan. And finally, Sarah said, stepping forward, coffee. She picked up a steaming cup. It contains caffeine, a natural pesticide that plants produce to poison insects. We drink it every morning to wake up. She took a long sip and sighed happily. Perfect. ZYX then sat down heavily. His legs wouldn't support him anymore. Your species deliberately consumes poisons, for pleasure. Not just pleasure, Yuki said, pouring herself some coffee too. Challenge. Tradition. Culture. The ability to eat these things makes us human. Our ancestors who could eat a wider variety of food survived better. So we evolved to handle things that would kill other species. This explains so much, Pelora whispered. And so little. How are you not extinct? The hospital visit. The final stop was a hospital. Sarah led them to a room where a man in his 60s was sitting up in bed, laughing with his family. This is Robert Chen, my father, Sarah said. Dad, say hello to Captain ZYX then. Hello, Captain. Robert waved. Sorry I'm in here. Had a little heart surgery yesterday. Yesterday? ZYX then checked his scanner. Sure enough, there were fresh surgical marks on Robert's chest. You had major cardiac surgery, 1 day ago, and you're conscious and speaking? Oh yeah, Robert said. Doc says I can go home tomorrow. Might even play golf next week. A human doctor standing nearby smiled. Mr. Chen had a triple bypass. We stopped his heart completely, rerouted blood vessels, and restarted it. It's a routine procedure now. Routine? Pelora shrieked. You stopped his primary circulatory pump and then restarted it. We do it thousands of times a day across the world, the doctor said calmly. Humans are remarkably resilient. We can survive injuries that would kill most creatures. We've successfully reattached severed limbs, replaced failed organs with mechanical parts, and even kept people alive with no natural heart at all, just a machine pumping their blood. ZYX then stood in silence, processing this information. His entire understanding of biology was being rewritten. The truth. Back in Sarah's office at the UN building, ZYX then sat across from her. His crew had been taken to medical facilities, most were suffering from psychological shock at what they'd witnessed. I need to ask you something honestly, Dr. Chen, ZYX then said quietly. Are you actually trying to kill yourselves? All the poison consumption, the extreme physical stress, the voluntary surgery, it seems like your species has a death wish. Sarah laughed, a warm, genuine sound. No, Captain. Quite the opposite. Everything you've seen today isn't about death. It's about life. Humans push boundaries because that's how we survive. We eat diverse foods because it made us adaptable. We run long distances because it made us effective hunters. We develop medicine to repair our bodies because we refuse to accept death easily. She leaned forward. We don't have the strongest bodies in the galaxy. We're not the smartest or the fastest. But we are stubborn. We are adaptable. And we absolutely refuse to quit. ZYX then 6 eyes studied her carefully. The Galactic Council has never encountered a species like yours. I know, Sarah said. That's exactly why you need us. Sarah collapsed, and ZYX then ran to her. He pulled her back to the safe side just as the bulkhead sealed with a thunderous clang. The howling stopped. Emergency oxygen flooded the chamber. Sarah gasped, coughing and shaking. But she was smiling. The kids, okay. The children were fine. Their teachers were already leading them to safety. ZYX then helped Sarah sit up. That was the most foolish, dangerous, illogical thing I have ever witnessed. Probably, Sarah admitted, still catching her breath. It was also, ZYX then continued quietly, the bravest. The vote. 2 hours later, Sarah stood before the council again. She had bandages on her shoulder and arms, and she moved stiffly, but she refused to stay in the medical bay. Chancellor Morikin's light pulsed with something that might have been respect. Dr. Chen, you risked your life for children who were not your species. Why? Sarah looked surprised by the question. Because they needed help. Does there need to be another reason? The chamber was silent. Finally, Ambassador Krell9 stood. His mandibles clicked, but this time it sounded almost like a laugh. I withdraw my objection to human membership. Any species crazy enough to run toward a hull breach to save strangers is either insane or exactly what this council needs. Perhaps both. The Threll representative stood next. I vote yes. Humans may be dangerous, but they are dangerous in defense of others. That is admirable. One by one, representatives stood. The vote was unanimous. Chancellor Morikin's light blazed bright. By the authority of the Galactic Council, humanity is hereby welcomed as Species 848. Welcome to the galaxy, Dr. Chen. Welcome home. Epilogue, 6 months later. Captain ZYX then sat in a human establishment called a coffee shop in New York City. Across from him, Sarah sipped her poison, coffee with what she called extra espresso. I still don't understand how you drink that, ZYX then said, though he was smiling. Old habits, Sarah replied. How's your new crew working out? The 3 human members. Excellently. Though they keep trying to get me to try this pizza food. They promise it won't kill me. It won't, Sarah assured him. Probably. They both laughed. Through the window, ZYX then could see the sky. Somewhere up there, human ships were already traveling to other worlds, meeting other species, bringing their impossible, beautiful, stubborn humanity to the stars. You know what I've learned, Dr. Chen? ZYX then said quietly. Humans aren't space orcs. You're not warriors or monsters. Then what are we? Sarah asked. ZYX then's head-tail swished thoughtfully. You are survivors who chose to become heroes. And the galaxy is better for having you. Sarah raised her coffee cup. To the Galactic Council. ZYX then raised his nutrient drink. To humanity. They drank together, one species that had conquered the stars through logic, and another that had done it through sheer, stubborn, wonderful refusal to give up. The galaxy would never be the same. The end.